Hey guys, this is Justin, and welcome to Inside the Playbook. This is a podcast that will be covering all types of sports and everything under that umbrella as far as athletes, coaches, teams, fan bases, and everything of that nature. Today, our topic will be athlete stories. We have some guests with us. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Michael.
Bree.
Troy.
All right, guys. So I have a few questions lined up for today. First question is, can we go around in a circle and I'll say what sports we played, whether that was high school, college, whatever. I'll start. I played football in high school.
I played high school and college basketball.
All the sports I've played?
That's fine.
Okay. Well, I've done cheer, volleyball, track, cross country, basketball, and yeah, I think that's it.
Cool.
Multi-talented.
For real.
Nah, I played football and track, and I ran track.
Gymnastics and dance on top of that.
Dang. Okay. All right. My turn. Let me go again.
Yeah, Jay, you played more than just football.
I played football for like a really long time. That's why that's like the main sport that I claim. But I also played basketball. I was kind of tough, but my dreams died in high school.
That's okay though.
Okay.
That's okay though.
It is.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know like how long everybody's been playing their sports. You know?
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like Troy, it was kind of out of nowhere when he started playing basketball. Like he was baseball for so long, and I thought he was gonna be in the friggin' Major League Baseball, but he ended up playing basketball. I just remember we came to their house one summer, and he was hooping. I was like, "What the?" I didn't know what was going on.
No, for real.
But yeah, I wanted to know like how long everybody played like each of their sports or the main ones at least.
So I started playing football in the third grade. I was playing tackle football for a team in Longview, Texas. If you don't know where that is, it's East Texas.
It's literally the middle of nowhere. You probably don't know where it is.
Something close to there would probably be like Tyler, Texas. People know that because of UT Tyler. You know,
That's too far from college too.
Yeah.
Facts. But I started playing in third grade, playing tackle football, and that's kind of when it started. That's when I fell in love with the game, because I was like, dang, like football, I can. And then back then I was playing like every position. Like I was playing running back, quarterback, receiver.
You and football go together real bad.
Real bad. So I don't know. I guess because I had so much experience like playing different positions, I began to like understand the game, and that's where I fell in love with it. I played all the way up until my middle of my junior year in high school. I had to stop playing because I had gotten a really bad concussion in one of my games. It was really stupid because it could have been avoided had I just sat out the rest of the game like I was told to. So anyways, yeah, I had to stop in my junior year, and I played basketball from third grade to eighth grade, and I stopped after that because I got a concussion. Mike, what about you?
How long I've been playing?
Yeah.
I played football from eighth grade into my senior year. Well, actually, my first sport was cross country. I ran cross country in seventh grade. Never again. Then I transferred middle schools, and I was gonna run it again actually eighth grade, but when I transferred schools, their season was already over. So yeah, ours was in the winter,
Which is crazy.
which sucked. Yeah.
Running in the dark and cold. Like,
Our season wouldn't start until like January. But yeah, I played football eighth grade, freshman year, sophomore year. Then I played JV and varsity junior year, and then I played varsity senior year. And then I also ran track. I didn't run varsity because COVID, and then some other shit that I'll probably get into later. But yeah, I ran track freshman through junior year, and that was pretty much it for me.
All right, Brown.
Well, I think the very first sport that I did was cheer, and I did that one on and off for total 4 years. And then gymnastics I only did for a couple of years. Dance I only did like at like a dance studio for only a couple of years. And then
okay, wait. Out of those three, which one would you say like you really just like messed with the most?
Gymnastics.
Why is that?
I just liked it. I thought I was gonna be the next Simone Biles or Gabby Douglas or something, but I'm too tall.
How long ago was this?
It was the beginning of middle school.
Oh.
For me. So that was like 2014.
Yeah.
2014.
I know that makes me sound old.
Yeah. That's crazy. Anyways, go ahead.
And then basketball, I didn't really do seriously. I just did it in school. I never even got on the team or anything like that. So that one don't even really count for real.
Bro was a Red Cooper.
No. Volleyball. I played volleyball a little bit when we were in Longview. I don't know if you remember. Volleyball probably a total of 2 years, probably not even. But you know the volleyball coach at Taylor wanted me to play for them because she saw me play volleyball when I was in PE. Imagine being in PE, bro. PE is insane. But I was finna do cross country. I was doing cross country. It was their off season, but anywho. And then cross country I did for 3 years.
So I started playing baseball when I was in first grade. I just started out little league. You know, I really enjoyed it though too. And then I played all the way up until maybe 6th grade. I played a year out here when we moved to Katy, so it was pretty chill. But I knew like the talent gap was like way past me when I moved here, bro. Man,
that's true. I didn't even realize it, but whenever we used to go to T's games, like way back when, like when we were in Houston, and then compared to whenever we did end up moving to Katy, like I didn't even like notice it at first, but now that I'm sitting here and thinking about it, I'm like, the gap was kind of crazy.
It was insane. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like the gap from Houston to Katy in everything is huge. Like
that's
school,
true.
That was insane. I came to Katy, I thought I was dumb.
Bro, nah, literally. Dang, that is a topic we need to get into though. The little separation.
Yeah, that can.
Because we live. You know, we lived in the trenches and we lived in the suburbs.
Actually, guys, this topic won't be talked about on this podcast. It will be talked about on another podcast.
Oh, a little separate project.
It's Brianna's podcast.
Okay.
It's gonna be under her brand Hard to Read. So once she puts that stuff up, I will be linking it, so y'all can go check her out as well.
Y'all be on the lookout.
Yeah, but
man.
Continue.
Oh, all right. So, and then when I arrived in Katy, it was just like, I don't know, that talent gap, bro. It was because back in A-Leaf, it was just easy, you know, hit a little single, steal, double, you know. But now it's like, wow, they really like study the game out here, so it's kind of crazy.
Nah, bro, you remember that one game when the kid was he was on y'all's team, he was up to bat and he got hit by the pitch?
Yeah, was this out here, right?
Yeah. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, that scarred me for life. I was like, no, they killed bro. Like,
bro couldn't even walk. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
I was like, God, because I remember I used to go to your practices.
I remember.
I used to be in the field, getting that field work in, but my aspirations took me elsewhere.
Could have got bro on that shortstop.
Hey, I would have been deadly.
That double play from hell, man.
What? Talking about on the ground, 360, no pass. Oh my God!
I feel you, bro. And then, really, I just took a year just to like focus athletically, because you know back then them coaches, that's all they talk about, getting you ready from athletics, bro. And then that's when I just put my all into basketball, and then just kept going up until high school, freshman year, college, sophomore year, first semester. It was pretty good journey. I'm not gonna lie, I respect it.
What would you say out of like the beginning of high school to the ending of you playing in what, sophomore year?
Yeah.
Which year would you say was your best year statistically?
I could probably go from anywhere from like junior to senior year. I would say that was the height of my like statistical performance. I would say,
Tie.
and it wasn't even nothing crazy too. It was like maybe like 16 points a game, like 5 boards, four assists, or something like that.
That's adding to the score. I mean, y'all was winning.
Yeah,
we did go pretty far.
That's true, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
They wasn't touching us.
First district championship in a long ass time, so it was a pretty good journey. I can't lie. That was definitely the best year for basketball for me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's real. Okay, since we're on the topic of sports we played and our favorite sports and things of that nature, what would y'all say was your worst injury? Brianna, we'll start with you.
I don't know. I never really got injured. Like, I've never had any, like...
Not like shin splints or a stub toe.
Okay,
or
yeah, but that's
like
not a heavy injury. I think the worst injury that I had, and they didn't even really consider it anything whenever I went to the trainers. Basically, story time.
Okay.
We had our practices at 6 a.m. So I had to be up by 5. I wasn't waking up at 5. I was waking up at 5:20. And then the drive there would only be like 10-15 minutes. So then I get there, and we had to be there at 5:55. But our actual practice would start at 6 a.m. Pitch black. It's winter time. I'm in 2 pairs of leggings, damn near knee-high socks, my tennis shoes. I got a hoodie on. I got a beanie on because this is when my hair was cut short. So, all the wind was getting all up on my ears.
That kitchen was kind of cold.
It was cold. Had the hoodie on, tied. But we had to run. I don't even remember exactly what the run was. It was just a neighborhood run because our school is in a nice and cute little neighborhood. But it was a neighborhood run. I think it was like we had to do 3 miles before the period ended. And the way my coach would do it is that everybody would be split up into groups based on how fast everybody was. So group 1 would be the fastest group, and group 3 would be not as fast.
Yeah.
And I would always switch between 1 and 2.
Oh, I thought you was going to say 3.
No. I would switch between groups 1 and 2, but on this specific run, usually on neighborhood runs, I like to take it easy because we're in the neighborhood. We have to watch for traffic. We have to watch for people. And then also on top of that, we're running at 6 a.m. Our run is 3 miles. We're going to be out there for, let's say, 30 minutes. So by 6:30, people are already coming to school. So carpool and everything like that. So there's traffic and all that jazz. And so I usually like to stick in group 2 because I wasn't trying to go super fast in the neighborhood. It was pitch black because it was wintertime. Anywho, but this day I decided I wanted to run with group 1.
Uh-oh.
And these are all of the kids on our team that ran like strictly varsity cross country meets. Me, I bounced between the two. I was JV sometimes and then I was varsity some other times, but I decided, I was like, let me run with the varsity group because at this point I had been improving so much because I worked really hard during the season, so whatever. So I'm running with group 1 and we're running through the neighborhood, and the route we would take, we would exit through the front of the school and then we'd run around the neighborhood. But when we were coming back, there's a field, our practice field, and there's a gate and then there's a fence because the neighborhood is literally right behind our school. But we would have to jump the gate because it was always locked. It's pitch black. Back there's all types of potholes. There's all types of ant hills and ditches. And we had to run through that. We're just about finished with our run. So everybody's kind of like, okay, let's hurry up and get back to school so we can finish. So everybody's going kind of fast. And so we jumped the gate and we're running through this area. It's almost like an alleyway, but it's grass. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like bouncing and bobbling, tripping and stumbling. And then right after that is where we get back to the concrete. And whenever we get back to the concrete is where the curb is. And somehow I missed that curb. And where I missed the curb was where the sewer was. And yeah, no, my foot went up in there. And I mean, I didn't cry or anything, but everybody was like, "Oh, no," I was like, "No,
oh shoot!"
Couldn't walk though, so somebody had to help me get to the trainers. And from that point, which is where the parking garages are, all the way to the trainers, it's basically on the other side of the parking lot.
It's the other side of the lot.
Yeah, it's the whole other side of the parking lot. So I'm limping all the way to the trainers. I get to the trainers, and he's like checking out my foot or whatever. In the end, he didn't even really say what was wrong with me. I just kept having to go to the trainers.
Bro, and
strange. I couldn't run. I know. I don't know what was wrong with him.
Should we be dropping his name like that?
Maybe not. We know. We'll cut that part.
Right. I'll fix that. Don't even worry.
And so I just had to keep going to the trainers for a couple of weeks until I was okay to run again. But like, I don't even consider that really an injury because there was no title to it. There was no name to it.
I guess. I mean,
but that shit hurt.
You was out of commission.
Yeah, I was out here. Right. I think that counts. But,
all right. Yeah, Mike, you're next.
My injury stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard because I only had 2 like real injuries at like, cause like I had like, I don't know, I was always like banged up somehow. You know, I was playing safety so, and all type of that stuff. Nah, I wasn't injury prone. Nah, okay, I was available. Okay, I was
There's
there.
a difference.
Yeah. Nah, but cause I actually got like 2 basically back to back, but the 2 that I had. First was my fault. I was being a dumbass. But what's it called? Me and my homeboys, we was playing 7-on, just getting some work in on the weekend. It was like the beginning of spring ball, or like right like in the off season, right before spring ball. And so we was just getting some work in. But we used to hit for whatever reason. Like no pads, like
just crashing.
Playing full
man's game.
Yeah, playing full tackle, like
arena football.
So my homeboy Bryant, he had played receiver, and he had ran like a little out route or something, and he got it. He caught the, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm finna. What, I'm playing corner? Yeah, I'm finna lay this wood. So
okay,
I go up to hit him, boom, and then I roll. You know, I hit him with the gator roll. You know that technique, and like my arm like gets caught up like by his feet or something like that. And so I'm like, dang, that did not feel right, like at all. Really. But the problem is like my pain tolerance is OD. So I kept playing. I was like, whatever, I'm chilling. So I keep playing, give me a little pick six and everything. Then I'm like, my arm's still hurting. And I go, we get done playing and we gotta leave, and we used to have to jump the gate because they would always lock it.
Everybody got to jump gates?
Yeah, for real. That's universal.
I went to go jump the gate, and I was like, oh, dang. Like, my arm instantly, like, caught on fire. I was like, dang, this ain't good.
Not really.
Something ain't right.
And it's like a Saturday. Spring ball start on Monday. So I'm like, dang, it is what it is. Like, it's whatever. I'm going to ice it when I get home. Cool. So the next day, I'm like, dang, my arm's still hurting. I go to tie my shoes, and like I can't move it. Like I can't move my arm at all. I'm like,
very Spencer James.
I don't know. So I tell my sister, and my sister like grabs my shoulder. And I don't know how I didn't realize, but like my clavicle is like sticking out like completely. And she's like, oh yeah, like you gotta go now. So like I go get my go to the ER or whatever. And I get a bunch of x-rays, and they're like, yeah, like you separated your shoulder. And I'm like, dang, so like, what we talking about? Like, what's going on? Like, I can't lift weights or something? They're like,
you gonna pop it back into place or what?
They like, yeah, no, we can't do nothing about that. And I'm like, huh? Like, what do you mean? It's like, basically they were saying like, you can't like once you separate your shoulder, the only way to get it back together is if you get surgery. Like they actually have to go and like reattach it or whatever. And there's like 3 grades. There's a grade 1, there's a grade 2, and a grade 3. At grade 3 is like mandatory surgery. Grade 2 is kind of like up to your discretion, and then grade 1 is like you'll be fine. It'll never go back, but you wouldn't have to like do anything. It's not a big deal. But they said I had somewhere between like a grade 2 and a grade 3. They said I got lucky because my like clavicle wasn't too elevated, but they were like it's still like you can kind of still see it sticking up, and they're like basically it's like a cosmetic thing. Like if you want to get surgery, you could, but like you wouldn't need to. So I'm like, bet I'm not gonna get it. But they're like, yeah, nah, like spring ball, chalk it. I'm like, dang, for real? They're like, yeah, nah, you can't play. They told me that was like you might be able to come back and play in a spring game. So I did, even though I lied because I said that I was good, but I wasn't good because what happened? Like the day before the spring game, the day before I was good to go and pass. Because by the end of spring ball, I was still like I was practicing everything like footwork drills and all of that, 1-on-1s and whatnot. But I just couldn't. Once they was in pads, I couldn't do nothing. So I was finally cleared to play in pads right before the spring game, and we just doing little DB drills. And my coach throw the ball. And forgetting I'm hurt, I go to dive for it. I land right on my shoulder. Boom. All I heard was a loud pop. And I was like, oh, dang. Like, I definitely just got hurt, but I can't show that I'm in pain. Because, like, my coach, he was like big bro to me. Like, if he would have seen I was hurt, he would have been like, yeah, you done right now. So I was like, dang, I can't show I'm hurt. But that was, like, the worst pain I ever felt. Like, I was like, about to throw up bad. Like that's how bad it hurt. But yeah, I did. And then after that, either the next day or that same day, like I think it was like later on, I had to get like my final like exam and everything to see like if I was good to play at pads. Boy, I was like in front of a bunch of coaches, all the trainers, and some dude from the district, like a bunch of people in the training room, conveniently while this is happening. And they moving my arm up and down, having me pick up weights and everything. Screaming pain on the inside, and I can't show none of it. Or they not gonna let me, because they didn't think I was gonna be ready, but I was convincing them I was ready. Like I was, like whenever I wasn't in the training room, like I was sneaking in the weight room and lifting weights, all of that. So yeah,
he was gonna work regardless.
Nah, for real.
And then they're like, the final test, we gotta put the pads on. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's about time. Finally, they put the pads on, and like the material, like I don't know what it was, the way it scraped against my shoulder, instantly like eyes start watering. I'm looking down, like trying so they don't see that I'm about to start crying. They're like, oh, like I'm putting on a fake smile, like, oh, you happy to finally get the pads on, huh? You ready? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be it for me. I'm like, tomorrow. It's the last time I'm gonna ever play football, so I might as well enjoy it.
Nah, for real.
No, but I ended up playing the spring game. I did all right. I had to play with the freshmen, and the JV and the varsity. I repped like all of them, but I mostly took like freshman reps because, like I said, my coach was like, "I know you still hurt. Like I'm not gonna throw you out there against varsity on your first day back in pads." So yeah, but that it kind of derailed like my whole football because like I don't know how everybody else was, but like at my school, like varsity, it was not given at all. Like if you didn't show up in spring ball, like when you was a junior, spring ball was basically how they decided if you made varsity or not. Like
that's how it's supposed to be.
They would go through all your film basically and watch you the whole spring ball and how you played, and if you played well, you was on varsity. If you didn't, you was on JV, and that was that. So obviously I was on JV because I didn't play spring ball at all. So they kind of messed me up, but I ended up getting moved up anyway, so it was what it was. But going into that, my next injury to my last one, I know I've been talking for a minute, but I was on JV. We was playing Side Park, and Side Park, you know, now it's different. They playoffs and all of that. But when I was when I was on that year or in the years before that, Park was a new school, so like they were garbage. Like you didn't lose to Parks. If you lost to anybody, like you didn't lose to Parks. So mind you, I'm already mad because I'm a junior on JV. but we playing Parks and we're losing. And I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm like, how are we losing right now? Like I couldn't understand it.
Math, what math?
Nah, for real.
So I started getting more and more mad, and I was like, it's halftime, and it's like tie game or something like that, like 7-7, or I think it was like 6-7 because we didn't have a kicker, so we're losing by 1. But it had me heated just in that mode. So this is when I started, or I was playing safety by this point. So I'm like, oh yeah, first play, I'm finna take somebody's head off. Like, I don't care about nothing. I said, I already know how it's gonna go in my head. I'm gonna take somebody's helmet off. First play I'm in, running back coming right towards me. I'm like, I'm finna take his head off. Boom! Straight helmet to helmet. I don't care. Rock him. He done. He gone. Boom. I'm like,
he's handing out CTE.
Nah, for real.
I hit him, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't even know if he went down or not, because like I didn't wrap up or nothing. It's straight helmet to helmet. I'm trying to lay the wood. So I'm like, man, I'm hoping he went down. Then I'm on the ground. I don't even know what happened. I didn't even know this happened. I had watched film like a year later or 2 years later. My teammate, I don't know, he was hitting with his eyes closed or something. He didn't realize I already took care of business, D lineman. Why he come and pop me? Helmet to helmet. Boom. Oh. So I'm on the ground. I get up and I'm like, oh yeah, I see.
I got him.
I'm like, the play over with, so I guess I got him. And all I hear is, oh yeah, nah, he gotta go. And I'm like, dang, what, I got ejected? What, targeting? And then I'm like, hold on, who said that? And then I realized I can't see. So I'm like, oh wait, what's going on? And like, it's weird because like, it wasn't like it was pitch black or nothing like that. It was just like I was seeing nothing. So then all of a sudden, I feel somebody like grab me. And I'm like, who grabbed me? And then I try to take a step and I instantly fall down. Can't walk. So then another one of my teammates come. They basically got to carry me off the field. And so the trainer's like, come here, like, sit him down. And so then I look up and then I can see the sky and it's just spinning. And then she's like, breathe, like calm down. And I'm like, oh Lord, what's going on? So literally I'm just sitting there staring at the sky, watching it spin and spin for like 5 minutes. And then I what's it called? I'm sitting there and I'm like, all in my head, I'm like, yeah, you messed up, cuz. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, you did it this time. I was like, your mama gonna be pissed. I'm just staring like, dang, like, no way. All these people just watch me die on the field.
Nah, for real.
I'm like, I never thought it'd be me, cuz. Like, you watch it all the time, but like, I'm like, I never thought it'd be me. Like, not like this, bro. I'm like, it's over with. I'm done. And so then eventually all I hear is like screaming and yelling. I'm like, what's going on? Side part score. We down 7. I'm in that mud like, go for the I'm like, oh hell no, I'm done. I get up, helmet gone. They already knew what type of timing I was finna be on. Helmet's gone. I'm trying to sneak back in. I'm like, I'm looking for it. I see it on the back of the training cart. I start walking over there. Nope. Sit back down. Hell, let me play. I'm like, let me play, bro. I'm good.
I'm damned if we lose.
I'm like, are we not losing? Yeah, we ended up losing that game. Smooth concussion. Yeah, I was out for like 2 weeks, but
you got lucky.
Yeah, nah. They were like, I think I technically I was only out for like a week before I started practicing again, and then by the time the game was around, I was cleared. But I'm not gonna lie, my head was still hurting, but I was like, it's
one of the things you just gotta suck it up.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna just keep playing because they told me a week, so it's been a week. But yeah, I was chilling after that.
That's what's up. I mean, I would say for my injury, I don't really have a lot of injuries, but I do remember one injury, and it wasn't even in season 2. So going into senior year, so I had a good junior year. So I was like helping lead like the MAC camp, like all season groups. Mm-hmm. And so for our day, we were going, I don't know, run the parking garage maybe. So it was our conditioning day. So we're getting in our little warm-ups, going up the ramp. So it's maybe A skip, B skip, and then we'll go 25%. Okay, running. It's a breeze. It's a breeze.
Little jog.
Okay, 50%. Ooh, okay, it's a breeze. It's a breeze. Okay, Brett catching up low key. 75%. Me and Brett like kind of even now. I'm like, dang, why am I feeling like tired?
Why bro moving so fast?
And then here goes Coach Nut in the back of my ear. So this is how we're feeling today. Just gonna half-ass it, I guess. I was like, okay, man. 100%. It comes back. He's got both hands up. He knows it's gonna be a sprint, bro. I'm talking. He puts his hands down. Chopping. I pull away at the last second. You got to hit his hand to know you finished first. Clah! There goes my toe. Right off of his size 12 shoe.
Oh.
I go skidding, bro. My hands get skinned up. My knee gets skinned up, bro. I'm just laying there like, bro, grabbing my foot. Just in pain, bro. Now I try to walk it off, that adrenaline or something, bro. No. And then once we getting ready for maybe the conditioning run, I start, I can't do it. Hands on fire, knees on fire. Now my foot is burning, bro. And then he was like, nah, go see the trainer, bro. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I have to walk down 2 flights of stairs, bro. I can't even do it by myself. They have to send people, like they have to send the managers to walk with me, bro.
Dang.
And then it was like from the parking garage to the athletic trainer, like by the courts, bro.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a little hike, I'm not gonna lie. And then I sit down, bro. I'm not gonna lie, that one tear.
Yeah.
He busted me out my shoes. Toe this way. Toe is this way, bro. 45-degree angle.
God.
So he ices it, and then I couldn't even drive myself home. My mom had to come pick me up.
Ooh, I know you was feeling crappy.
I was in shambles, bro. And then we went to the ER. Yeah, that mother broken. 6-week recovery, man.
Oh, you're in the off season though, right?
Yeah, it was like not even the first day of school yet, so I was chilling.
Okay. Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. So yeah.
I remember when that happened.
I was just cooped up in the living room. Stranger Things season 3 was going
crazy. Hey, the grind did not stop.
It did not, bro.
I remember that because I remember, I think it was y'all two. I just remember y'all watching like all of Stranger Things or like all of one show.
Oh yeah.
At a time, and I was like,
"Oh yeah,
this nigga is just in here."
I was like, "Might as well finish it."
I remember
you were in the recliner and I was sitting on the couch.
What?
And we was just sitting there just watching.
Toe propped up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I remember I come in, you sitting in the recliner, foot just up.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you
damn.
You have to keep it reclined. You know how they used to
keep it
get
elevated.
I was like, oh my gosh, let me play.
I just want to play.
It's just like when you feel worthless or useless.
Yeah.
Can't help. Like, come on, man, please.
Watching everything go down.
And then this is the time where you like, yeah, let's do some open runs. Let's get our feet warm. I love open runs.
Those are my favorite.
Now I'm on the side working the clock, bro. What are we doing?
Put a minute on the clock.
Yeah, it was pretty crappy. Not gonna lie.
All right. I guess it's my turn. So I guess I can categorize it as saying I've had 2 injuries, 2 types of injuries.
Fine.
Okay. They were both football related, so I'm not an idiot. Although the stuff I did was pretty idiotic. Okay. So my first injury was in the 8th grade. Right? 8th grade. I just had a decent 7th grade year playing running back and linebacker, you know. Getting the boom, running the ball. Then the next year comes, and by 8th grade, I've shot up a few inches. My feet are growing. I'm getting taller. So I'm like just about as tall as our linemen or taller, because our linemen were pretty tall at the time. And so they were like, stay at running back. Whole time I'm thinking, let me play quarterback or something. Like, let me throw that pill. They were like, no, running back. So I'm like, okay, cool. We go through the season. We're losing. It's fine. I don't really care. I'm just ready for the season to be over because I did not want to play running back. Mm-hmm. So we get to a game. We're playing, what's that school?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm trying to school.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, we were playing them.
They had a game. They had a baseball game or something going on in the back too. Because I remember me and Maya kept walking to the concession stand.
Yeah. So it's that game. It's like we're down a touchdown in the second quarter, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to lose to them because they were like one of the better teams in our district. So I was like, I don't want to lose to them because like we can make a statement here.
Yeah.
Like we can turn the season around. We still had like I think 4 more games after that. Like we were like we had a chance to go to districts. So it's second quarter. It's a run up the middle. My favorite type of run. I like contact. You know, I like to run people over. So
that's one thing I'd never understand.
Hey man, when the coach called a play, you just gotta see it through.
I don't understand why the play is a thing in the first place.
Hey man, because it works. It works.
If
you have good enough O linemen, the play works. Mm-hmm. It's just a skill. It's just a skill problem. That's all it is. So I'm running the ball up the middle. I get maybe 5 yards, mind you. Whole time, as soon as I get the ball, there's a really slow lineman in front of me, so I'm pushing him forward. We get like 5 yards, and the lineman that he was blocking and another linebacker came, and they were pushing him back. So he falls. I'm right behind him. It's like a domino effect. I'm like, bro, what? So I fall. And immediately my foot is on fire. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn, like, he got up. So I'm like, okay, I think the play's over. So I was like, let me get my ass up. Yeah. So I get up. Or I try to get up. Let me say right. I tried to get up.
Because dude was big.
Dude, okay. And dude was like 300.
No.
Maybe 5'6". I'm not joking.
300's pushing it.
No.
But he was big.
He was huge. Huge sloppy.
I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
I felt it with my foot. So I tried to get up. It didn't work. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, why is my foot hurting so much? And then I just start crying because I'm like, bro, like I can't stand this. I was a little wuss. I can't cap. Like, but like that pain, it was different. So
it's funny.
Next thing you know, oh, what's up?
Because like at this point, we see you're on the field, and me and Maya, we were like lollygagging. I'm pretty sure, but we're sitting right next to Mom and Daddy, and Mama is like, "Is JJ okay?" And then we all look at the field, and Daddy was like, "Nope, no, he not."
And so then all I remember is my dad like jumping over because he was in the stands, so he jumps over the fence railing thing that they had to
literally
separate the stands
down
from the track. He runs, and he's like, he comes onto the field, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I'm like, "My ankle, it hurts." And so then he and like a trainer or somebody, they carry me off to the side. Matter of fact, it was Coach T.
Wait, no, I thought it was Dad.
No, it was Coach T.
From Taylor?
Yeah.
All right.
And my dad. Oh. So they were carrying me off the field. They put me on the bench, and she took my helmet off, and she's like, "So what's going on?" And I'm like, "My foot. Like I can't. Like it hurts." Mm-hmm. And so she's like, "Okay." Mind you, at this time, I had no drip. Like I was wearing some insane cleats. I was wearing lineman cleats. Get that? Like high top, like ankle support with the strap. Yeah, I was wearing those cleats. So all of that pressure was just building up right there. So she finally, like, she takes off the strap, and I'm like, oh, like the pain just starts to shoot up my entire leg. I'm starting to feel the pain everywhere. So I'm like, bro, what is this? So she takes the shoe off. They look at my foot, and it's swollen. So I'm like, damn, twisted ankle. Because, you know, that's the worst scenario in my head. Mm-hmm. So I can't play the rest of the game. it gets to halftime and they're like, oh, like you can leave, like your dad can like take you home and you can just bring the like your pads and stuff back in the morning and we'll discuss everything. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. We go home. I'm in the was I in the back seat laid across everybody or something like that? Yeah.
I remember you was on me and I was mad because you was all sweaty and
yeah. Talking about in pretty much all I had on was a sweaty shirt, my football pants, and some socks. Like it was crazy. Like I was sweaty. It was nasty. So we're in the car. We get home, and my parents made me sleep with them. So they put me on the couch, and I'm sitting there. They got my foot up, whatever. So I think that night I tried to take a shower, and I'm in Granny's bathroom, and you know how her shower is with the little step thing that's right there, and then it goes down. So first off, I struggled taking off my pants. I had to like sit down and like shimmy them off. It was crazy. And so then I had to take off the pads underneath the pants, like the girdle thing.
Yeah.
I had to take that off too. Oh, it snapped against my ankle, like it slapped my ankle, and I was in tears. I was like, it was like a teary eye here and the one tear starting to fall. It was crazy. So then I'm like, okay, how am I gonna get in this shower? I tried to step in, but I realized I couldn't put any weight. Like, because if I was to step in
on that foot,
I have to step in on that foot, and that's putting all that weight to bring my back foot in. And then if I try to step in with the other foot, I gotta put weight on that ankle and step in.
Imagine this.
What?
You sit down on your butt, you turn around, you just lift your butt, and just slide right in.
Okay, so picture this.
Oh my god.
You're close. So what I did was, I don't know, I kind of like.
That boy said he crawled.
Kind of. Like, I was on my hands and knees to get into the shower. It was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And then I get in the shower and I can finally stand up. I'm like, damn, this ain't it. So I take my shower, or whatever. I struggle getting out of the shower.
Wait, why didn't you step in the shower with the other foot?
Because I'd have to put pressure on my left foot. Trying to
I see.
And then step over, like, yeah, it's putting pressure on. I couldn't do it. So, anyways, I take my shower. I struggle. I get dressed, struggle. I struggle back to my parents' room. They put me on the couch. They got the cushions up and everything. So I'm sitting there. I couldn't sleep. Meanwhile, they're in there snoring. And I'm like, bro. So I'm literally just sitting there. No TV, no phone. I'm just sitting there. So the next morning comes around. I ended up falling asleep for like a couple hours. The next morning comes around, and my parents are like, how are you feeling? Like, how's your ankle? And I'm like, it's whatever. So my dad ends up staying home from work to take me to school because I didn't have school until 8 in the morning, which is insane because everybody else had school at like 7. So he stayed home, took me to school. I get to school, and you know, my friend who was on the team, his mom, she had crutches. And so as soon as I got to school, she gave them to me. And I was like,
that's nice.
Good looking out. Like, you really looking out. So I get to class, and I make it through my first class, and then I'm in Spanish, I want to say. And Senora. I was sitting there, foot propped up, and then I just started looking at my ankle, and it's huge. Mind you, I was wearing like Jordans on one foot, and the other foot I was wearing like slides because I couldn't put any pressure on it. So I'm just looking at it, and it's like throbbing. Like I could see it like pulsing. And then I just start feeling the pain. So I'm like, oh hell. So I end up going to the nurse. I called Dad, and I'm like, my foot, like I can't feel it hurts. Like it's swollen. I don't know what to do. So he's like, what the heck? So he comes, he leaves work, he
That's
picks
not
me
what
up.
he said.
Nah, he didn't say that. He had a few choice words. But he comes, leaves work, he picks me up, and we go to the Iron Man facility. And so they can do like x-rays and stuff like that. And because the trainer for the high school told us that they would cover the bill and like just go see him and tell him like where you're coming from, like who the trainer is. Yeah. And so we get there, they do the X-ray, and we're sitting there, we're waiting, and they come in the room and they're like, your ankle is fractured, and I'm like, bro, what? I was like, no, like you're joking, like it's just a sprain. And they were like, no, like you're gonna have to wear a boot for like a month or more, like depending on your progress. And so I'm like, bro, that's not what I want to hear. I gotta miss the rest of the season. We lost that game. I found out the next day that we lost that game by a touchdown. And I know now I know I gotta miss the rest of the season because I'm in a boot. So we get fitted for the boot, whatever. I go home. Next day I go to school. So fast forward 4 weeks. It's basketball. It's the basketball tryouts are about to happen. I'm not cleared to play yet, but I forced myself to start wearing an ankle brace instead of my boot and stopped using the crutches, just to like force myself to learn how to walk and put pressure on my foot again. And mind you, that was the wrong thing to do. Like I was not ready.
Nope.
And so I missed the first day of tryouts, so I go to the second day. Second day comes, I try to run. Mind you, I was on the team the year before. I tried to run. It wasn't working. Like it was literally the beginning of the tryout. Like we were doing conditioning. I tried to run. I couldn't put any pressure on my foot. So the coach that I had last year, he was like, hey, just go sit on the sidelines, watch the rest of the tryout, and we'll talk after. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Mind you, whole time I'm still trying to sneak back into the tryout to put up a couple shots, so I can show them, because I wanted to be on A team. A team was the goal always. So into tryouts come, he pulls me into the office and he's like, so what's going on with your ankle? Like, when do you think you'll be back? And I was like, probably like in a couple weeks. And so he was like, okay, if you're back in a couple weeks, we'll put you on B team. And so I'm like, I guess. I mean, I wanted to play basketball, but I really was trying to be on A team, but whatever. That sucked. But it messed up my entire season too, because my ankle never fully healed, and it just sucked. And then we fast forward to high school. Freshman year, I got a concussion. I had to miss the season. I got a concussion in the season. It was the first scrimmage of the season against a different team, and I was playing running back still. I don't know why.
I don't know why they did that to you.
I was like,
so ready for you to.
What? I was like 5'8", 5'9". Everybody else was like 5'5", 5'6". So
yeah, everybody was tiny.
So I'm towering over everybody pretty much. And it just looked so weird seeing me at running back. So then I missed that entire season. Sophomore year comes around. I switched positions like midway through the summer. And I start working receiver. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, call me Ocho Cinco. Like, I'm Odell. Like, Julio Jones is me. Right? I'm putting in the work. Sophomore season comes. And I'm on the sophomore team because they're scared about my head. So I'm on sophomore team. We're playing. And then midway through the season, they told us that we had to combine with JV. So we'd be splitting reps with JV. And some people wouldn't play. We get to the May Creek game. This was the funniest game. So we get to the May Creek game. The JV team starts out, right? Then they start rotating guys in around like middle of the second quarter. So
I'm not gonna lie, I hated when they did that.
Me too.
Like, I know that I only went to like your beginning games. Like, I think I only went to. You know how they used to do like the pep rally during the summer right before, and then they do like the football game right before,
spring
like
game.
The little scrimmage, or I don't know what it is.
The spring game, or no? That's
like
wait,
right before the school. Like I don't know if it's the beginning of the school year or right before the school year starts.
The first scrimmage.
The first scrimmage. The first live scrimmage. I remember.
I hated seeing that because
you remember the year that they wore the checkered pants and like the checkered jerseys, and we never wore those again.
No.
Oh, there was a year. I think that was my freshman year. Freshman year, they wore like checkered jerseys, like they were blue and white checkered jerseys
Mm-hmm.
And we went to round 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
man,
your freshman year, my sophomore year.
Those jerseys were so tough. We
Why
never
do I
wore them again.
remember that?
You know, we also had gray jerseys. We had gray and blue jerseys.
I would love to see gray.
They were tough. Did you ever notice like the ball boys wearing the jerseys? Like the gray and blue ones. Those are the jerseys.
Oh, okay.
They look really nice on pads. But anyways, so we're splitting reps, and there's this guy who's on JV. He's a junior, and he plays receiver. Mind you, this guy barely comes to practice. He can't catch. So obviously, there's no point in putting him in the game.
I remember.
Mike can get a name drop.
I remember we used to have beef with this kid for no reason, just because JJ didn't like him.
Do you remember?
Talking code.
Nah, we'll just cut it out.
No, I'll cut it out. You know, remember? He was from New York.
Yes.
That him. So he wasn't getting in the game because Coach Marderosian was like, no.
Okay.
So he during I think it was like the third quarter, sophomore team started to come in. He still hadn't been subbed in, so he gets mad. He storms. He storms out on the field. The coaches tell him to come off. He comes off. He's yelling at the head coach. And then all you see is his helmet fly onto the field. He threw his helmet and then went to go sit on the bus because we were at an away game. So he couldn't leave. So he just went and sat on the bus for the rest of the game. It was so stupid, but it was so funny. Because I remember I ended up getting in the game before they were even considering him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like,
I'm better than you.
Right. So then junior year comes. I'm on JV. Mind you, by this time, the coaches that we had the previous 2 years from receiver and a bunch of our coaches left. They went to May Creek. Mm-hmm. So we have new coaches coming in. They don't know me. They don't know what I can do. They don't know my history, right? Mm-hmm. Mind you, before the coaches left, I was supposed to get moved up to varsity. Ended up not happening because they left. So I'm on JV. We meet the coaches. Me and one of the coaches already we're not getting off on the right foot.
I feel like the whole switching of coaches, it definitely messed you up a little bit. Granted, you should have been given more of an opportunity to shine. Yeah. And show what you could do and whatnot, and then you ended up getting hurt. And I was just like, dang, because I remember all the coaches. All the coaches used to love you, and all the coaches used to talk to Daddy all the time, and all that stuff. And then they ended up switching them, and then it was Daddy didn't even like the coaches. I remember Daddy wanted to fight
because Coach Lee was my dog. That was the position coach for the receivers. My first 2 years, he taught me so much stuff. He taught me how to be a receiver. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to get as far as I did. Yeah. Because if I would have stayed at running back, it would have been dead. I would have been fifth string, no play time, whatever. He introduced me to receiver and really helped me hone my skills. And for him to leave, it kind of just I don't know. It did something to me. And then bringing in these new coaches, one of the coaches, he was cool. I felt his vibe was he wanted to better us. Yeah. But there was another coach who just felt like he was there for the job. Yeah. And
that's true, yeah.
He, for some reason, every time I did something he didn't like, he would make it a point to point it out. Mind you, he never talked. Bro was pretty much mute. But when it came to me doing something he did not like, he was always vocal. So we had beef from the start, from summer. Yeah. Come into the season, few games in, I'm starting receiver, obviously. I'm going crazy, normal. They created the pass to the running back that passes to me. They put that in the playbook just for me, right? Nobody else ran that play. And, I was doing good. Cool. I want to say a quarter through the season, I'm talking to the offensive coordinator, and he's talking about scheming me for varsity. And I'm like, bet that. I'm ready, coach. I promise. I've been practicing. I've been working. It shows on film that I'm ready. Just let me know when. So then the next week rolls around and we're at practice, and the coach who didn't like me, he said something to me, and I think this was my fault because I was having a bad day already, and I brought it onto the field, and he said something to me, and I just snapped, and so we're like going back and forth, like yelling at each other, and I'm like, bro, like you're not gonna talk to me stupid, like I don't care, like I didn't do anything wrong, and he's just like, I'm your coach, like you're gonna listen to me, like if I tell you to do this, you do this. And I'm like, bro, like, for some reason, I just wasn't going for it that day. And so then after that day, I never heard anything back from the offensive coordinator about scheming me for varsity. That second, okay, so middle of the season, I end up getting a really bad concussion. We're playing Morton Ranch. It's a home game. I'm lit. Mind you, for the team I played for, like, I was on every position. Like, I was on every side of the field except for defense at the time. So we get onto the field, we're up, we're running up the score, whatever. And then we go, it's like right before halftime, we have to punt. We punt the ball. The guy that was supposed to receive the punt, as we're like running towards him, he kind of like fumbles it and it's like popping up in the air or whatever, because I think it like hit him in the helmet. And so me and the guy on the other side of the field who was going for the ball, we're both like angling in, and I'm like, okay, I'm finna catch the ball. So I got my hands out in front of me, right, like in a basket form, ready to receive it. He's coming in at an angle, and then next thing you know, I didn't even catch the ball. I don't know what happened to the ball, but my hands smashed against my face mask and his face mask. And they immediately, like, it was like 5 seconds of pain, and then my hands went numb. I couldn't feel my hands. And so then I go to the sideline, and I'm like, Coach, like, I can't feel my hands. And he's like, go see the trainer. I go see the trainer, and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I can't feel my hands. And so then halftime comes, and my parents come out of the stands, and they're like, what's going on? Like, why are you not in the game? And I'm like, I can't feel my hands. Mind you, by this point, I'm scared. Because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, what can I do? And so I'm like hyperventilating while we're talking. I'm like hyperventilating, like I'm teary-eyed, like a mess. And so then they were like, do you want us to take you out of the game? And I was like, no. Like, do not take, whatever you do not take me out of this game.
Yeah.
I need to finish. Because I was having such a good game. Like, moving the ball, I was just great. So then we get out of halftime, and it's the opening kick return. We get ball first. Opening kick return. Obviously, me and one of my teammates were in the back ready to receive, because, of course, they had me back there receiving kicks, because who else? So there was a no. Yeah. Sorry. No. Okay, Morton Ranch. Different scenario. This was before that, right? It was a punt return. I'm back for punt return, ready to punt the ball, me and my teammate. And he's the one who's supposed to make the calls for who gets the ball or if we stay away from it. And so the guy punts the ball. It's in the air for a long time. So he's like, I'm gonna get it. So I'm like, okay. And then he's like, wait, you get it. So then I'm like, okay, I'm running towards the ball. And then he's like, wait, no, me. So I'm like, okay. So I kind of like slow down a little bit. And then he's like, you. So I'm like, dang. So then I speed up and I'm going for the ball. Mind you, the ball is about to hit the ground now. Like it's really close to hitting the ground. So I put my hands up to try to like catch it. Mind you, I could have just let it hit the ground and let it pop up and I caught it. Why didn't I do that? I don't know.
You said you were trying to make a play.
Yeah,
right. Real. I was trying to get up out of it. I was trying to get sticky. So I go for the ball. I'm looking. The ball is like falling into my hand, so I have my helmet going down, not looking at what's in front of me. Big ass, like, I don't know. He was like a linebacker or something. Running at me, cracks me. I fumble. Oh, my God, I go to the sideline, my head's spinning, like I don't know, it was bad. And then my coach comes up to me, he's like, "Yeah, that's why we fair catch." And I was like, "Yeah, my bad." So then fast forward to into halftime, we're going into third quarter, kick return, same team, right? I catch the ball and I take off, I get to about the 15 and I'm trying to like figure out where to go. My mistake was I stopped moving my feet. Cause I'm like scanning the field and I stopped my feet. I start to run again. As soon as I start to run, some guy, he goes like head to head with me. And it was like a stalemate. And then so like we come back and then he comes and he picks me up and he like slammed me on my head. Bro, when I tell you I wanted to cry, I didn't fumble, but I wanted to cry. I held on to the ball, but I wanted to cry. And so I get off the field and my head's spinning even more now. It's to the point where I'm about to throw up because I'm nauseous. Like I'm not having a good time. Mm-hmm. But I tell myself, you're fine. Why am I lying to myself? I don't know. Like the game wasn't that serious. We were already having a winning season. This was just another game. So I decided to play the rest of the game, kept taking hits, and then that passes. I go home. My head's still hurting, whatever. And I wake up the next morning. I get to school. And I can't speak without stuttering. And so I'm like, what is going on? Like at first I didn't notice until somebody, one of my classmates, we were in choir, believe it or not. We were in choir. And one of my classmates, he was trying to talk to me. Like we were having he was like starting a conversation. And I tried to like respond to him. And he was like, huh? And I was like, I said it again, thinking I'm saying like actual words. Yeah. And he's like, you're speaking gibberish. Like, you're not making sense. Like, because my stutter was so bad that it was just messing up the words completely. And I couldn't go like a full sentence with like words without stuttering. And so he's like, you need to go to the nurse. Because he's like, I know like people who get concussions and stuff like that, they die because they don't want to speak up about their problems. He was like, I even knew a guy. He knew, because he used to play football. Yeah. I knew a guy, and he was like, he got a concussion, and he was hiding his symptoms, and he ended up dying in his sleep.
Wow. A teacher said that?
No, it was one of my classmates.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, dang. So when he said that, that kind of like snapped me into reality, and I was like, okay, let me go to the nurse. So I go to the nurse, and we walk in there, and he's like telling the nurse like he had a game yesterday, like he might have a concussion. He can't talk without stuttering. And so she's like trying to ask me questions and stuff, and I can't get it out. So then he tells her my name, and they call my dad, and she's like, yeah, like you should come get him. Like something's wrong. He can't like speak a full sentence without stuttering. And so my dad's like flipping out, like he's freaking out, going crazy. He comes to pick me up, and he's like pretty much in tears. Like I never like saw my dad cry, and like I rarely ever see him get teary eyed. But whenever he was like talking to me in the car, like on the way to the emergency room, he was just like teary eyed, like trying to figure out like what's going on. And so we get to the emergency room or whatever. Or no.
So let me tell you.
Was that Mama?
So let me tell you.
Okay.
I was away at school because by this point I was already in college. It was my freshman year. And I was away, and I got a phone call. I don't remember if it was from my mom or my dad, but I remember they were like, your dad's on the way to the emergency room right now with your brother. He has a concussion, and we're probably finna come get y'all.
Okay, so what happened was they called Mama.
Mm-hmm.
That's who they called.
Mm-hmm.
And she immediately freaked out and she called Daddy. And that's when he came back. Okay, go ahead.
And so I'm like, what is going on? I'm freaking out because I'm like, what happened? And so I talked to Mama and she was saying that you had got hit at your game and like all this stuff and yada yada yada. And so then I'm at home. I go to Maya and we're talking about it and we're like, we packing our shit. We're like, oh no, we're finna go. Like JJ's in trouble. Drop everything, come quick.
Craig's in trouble. Come quick.
And so we're like packing our bags and stuff. And we sitting there and we just wait. And we're waiting in Maya's apartment in her room. And we're just sitting there. We're rocking back and forth. I'm like, bro, what is finna happen? Because Justin had already had a concussion before. And as far as I knew, didn't really know much. But as far as I knew, you're only lucky if you get one.
Yeah, for real.
And so I'm like, I don't know what's finna happen. Like, yada, yada, yada. And so then time passes and no one's come and got us yet. So we call our parents and they're like, yeah, no, we're not finna get y'all till the weekend. Like, y'all calm down. And they were like, no, but he has a stutter and whatnot. Like, you might want to talk to him and blah, 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 blah. And so then the night kind of goes on. I didn't even talk to you, surprisingly, until I think the next day is when you had FaceTime me. And I'm not even going to lie, y'all. I almost started crying because I was like, my brother. And based off what the doctors were saying, they were like, they don't know, like, he could talk like this for the rest of his life. Like, that's just the way it is. And I could tell that he was frustrated. And then on top of that, people were picking on him at school.
Dog, okay. Let me, okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your story.
So, here's, okay. So, before I had got to choir, because choir was my 4th period, I had 3 more periods before that. Mm-hmm. So, I was, like, interacting with people, and they were, like, bringing it up. But, like, nobody ever really, like, said anything until I went to the bathroom, and I was in there, and I was, like, washing my hands or something. And, it was like a bunch of people in there, and somebody said something to me, and so I was trying to tell them something, and they were like, bro, what? And so at first, everybody was making fun of me because they thought I was joking, but once everybody realized I was serious, like I actually couldn't talk, they were like, oh, dang, like, this isn't a joke.
Yeah.
And so it was crazy. But, so, we get to the emergency room, and for some reason, they put me in a wheelchair. I don't know why I was in a wheelchair. I could walk perfectly fine. My head wasn't that messed up. But yeah, I was in a wheelchair, and I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I was in like a Hot Wheels movie or something. I don't know. I was Speed Racer or something. Shoot. But they did the scans. I had to do the CT scan. That machine is so loud, bro. And we get there at like 12 p.m. and we're there until like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
We were there like, and they had me in that goofy ass dress in that cold room watching them old shows on that baby TV.
Ass out in a paper gown.
Right. And Mama's just sitting in the chair on her phone playing Candy Crush. And I'm like, bro, like, can we go home? They got needles. They got needles in my arm. Like, I just want to go home. And so then they finally come back and they're like, oh, like, it's like on because there's not really like a scale for concussions, but because people are different, like, you know, people's brains react differently to different things. And so they were like, this is one of the more severe ones. And they were like, this stutter could be long term, but it also could be short term. And they were like, we'll like recommend you like a speech therapist and you can go see him and like work on that whenever you're ready. And I was like, okay. Like, obviously I wasn't like, okay. My mom was like, okay. And then we finally leave.
Was this right before your birthday? Because I want to say you got your speech back like right before your birthday, because and then
it was I think it was like late October.
That's what I think it was too, because I remember whenever we did come home for your birthday, I was like, oh, like he has like his speech back, and you were talking so much,
bro. And so like yeah, it was. They were like, it's really just like a tell of time. So we leave. I go home. I cry because I'm like, bro, I'm in shambles. I can't play football anymore because they told me I couldn't play football anymore.
Oh yeah.
And when I heard that, like, I just went blank. I don't know. That was like the most heartbreaking news I could have received at that time. And so I get home, I cry, and I'm like, bro, like, what is my life now? And it takes me about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks to figure out my like speech situation, and it started to get better, and I started to be able to like form sentences and talk. And as of now, it's not really evident unless I'm like mad, because once I'm mad and I get like frustrated, I start to like,
you don't think so much about your speech.
Yeah, but most of the time I have to like, I can just like talk because I'm comfortable, but when I'm uncomfortable, I have to like focus on my speech, and if I don't, that's when I start to stutter too. But yeah, that was probably the worst experience of my life, because I still till this day get the same type of headaches I got back then. And when I tell you, it's not one of them headaches that you can just sleep it off. Nah, it's gonna last about 3-4 days, and it's gonna make you want to cry. But yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that was
a scary time though.
It was. I didn't know like.
I didn't know who was wrong with my brother. I'm like, bro, they better fix him.
Fix him now. But all right, guys. That wraps us up for today. Thank y'all for coming. We have Troy, Mike, and Brianna. Y'all will be seeing them probably in the future. Thank you for joining us today, and this is Inside the Playbook.
Peace out.
Peace out, y'all.